Edo State, a proud Benin chief. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend Mr. President for actually carrying out this constitutional obligation of actually taking care of the security and welfare of Nigerians through this budget of restoration. Last year, it was a budget of renewed hope. Now, budget of restoration, 4 key areas, Mr. Speaker. One is the security, that we have 4.91 trillion. Then that takes care of the security aspect of it. Then we now look at the education, 3.52, infrastructure, 4.06, healthcare, 2.48. Talk about welfare. I think Mr. President has demonstrated that he means business. Now, Mr. Speaker, the only area I want us to quickly look at, as the Deputy Chairman of Poverty Alleviation, I think Nigerians, after all this, what is next? We must reduce poverty. Again, I'm looking at what has been assigned to the Ministry of Humanitarian and Poverty Reduction and even the agency under it, the NCIPA, considering all the programs under that agency. Mr. Speaker, I think 200 billion or 300 billion cannot do it. I think that is an area we are going to actually meet or encourage chairman on appropriations to help us look at, so that we can see what will go there, because we are the people's representative. Then lastly, Mr. Speaker, we have to encourage Mr. President for being very aggressive when it comes to debt servicing. Now, when Mr. President came on board, we were using almost all our earnings for debt servicing. But today, we are using about 14 trillion. Mr. President has done so well, reducing our debt servicing, and he's still very aggressive about that. We must commend him, because if you look at our total earnings as projected of 34 trillion next year, and if we don't have a debt servicing of 16 trillion, just imagine if we add that to the 34, that is already 50 trillion. Imagine Nigeria actually doing their own budget without having to borrow. Mr. Speaker, I think we will be on the right path to prosperity one more time. That is why the budget of restoration has come to stay. And I encourage Mr. Speaker and my honorable colleagues to make sure we pass this with the speed of light, just like my honorable member said, Honorable Kelechi.